Hi everyone, welcome back to the Ultimate Career, and apologies for the delay on this third episode of the series. I've just been very busy recently. I hope to get back to more regular uploads, but we'll see how it goes. Anyways, let's get into qualifying for the second round of the 2010 season, taking place in Melbourne, Australia.
So alive, I've never felt this way before. It must be you and I. It's got me thinking about us more. It's these bright lights, they put me in a daze, and I can't stop but think about the way that you move around up and down on that stage. It's your future vibes.
And as we cross the line, it's a 1:30.1. Now I actually managed to improve on that time a bit later on in the session. I wasn't able to show you that. I got a 1:29.5, as you can see there. That was only good enough for 11th place. That's full 7/10 off Vitaly Petrov in 10th, but half a second quicker than the Williams of Rubens Barrichello. So I'm in the middle between the competitive cars and the midfield cars, although Renault, I would say, was also a midfield car during that time. This is what the bottom end looks like. This is what the top half looks like. So Alonso took pole position by a 10th of a second ahead of Jenson Button, with Hamilton third, Webber in fourth, Vettel fifth, Massa in sixth, two Mercedes lining up 7th and 8th, with the two Renaults of Kubica and Petrov in 9th and 10th, myself alongside Barrichello, and then our teammate Sutil down in 16th place, with the newer teams making up the back rows of the grid. Alright, let's look at the race strategy for today's race, and this particular time we're going to be starting on the prime tyres, going all the way to lap number 19, where we will change to the option tyres, which will be our only stop of the race, and we race to the end on those option tyres. Hopefully that gives us actually a bit more of an advantage over the guys that are running on prime tyres for a much longer stint after their pit stop, because they're all starting on the option tyre. Let's hope this works. Let's hope it works out for us. We're starting outside the top 10, but fingers crossed. They're forcing me to know what we're doing, and I can push as hard as I can and try and get us some good points. So let's go.
Car to track. Move it, guys. Expecting something special after your points finish last race. Don't disappoint them, mate.
Lights out, and away we go in Australia. We've got a very good start off the line. We've already managed to get past Petrov as we head down to turn one. Going to the outside of the corner, going down the outside of both Kubica and Schumacher up into 8th place. We've lost a little bit of speed coming out the corner. and Schumacher's managed to get us back round the outside there. Pedro de la Rosa's made a good start for Sauber. He's up into 10th place in front of Kubica. We're going to go down the inside of Schumacher into turn 3. Understeer wide a little bit. I think we're going to get away with it though, because Schumacher was on the outside. And we're back up into 8th place. Getting a bit of a warning for a corner cut there, but it is the opening lap. I think we should be forgiven for that. We're now cut to towards the end of the lap. We're in the 3rd sector, and Rosberg was trying to go round. I think that was Mark Webber in front, and that's cost him dearly. Going through the chicane, we're going to try and go down the inside of Rosberg, but we've understeered wide onto the grass, and now Rosberg's going to be up our inside for the next right-hander. We tried to hold around the outside, but we're unable to do so, and we lost a little bit of time, and Rosberg is back up into 7th. And this battle actually continued onto lap number 2. We're towards the end of the middle sector of the 2nd lap. We're still with Rosberg as we come up towards the chicane. Rosberg goes really slowly into the first part, and then I have to back out of it, and then I have to avoid him onto the right-hander, cutting the chicane a little bit there, making contact with Rosberg in the process whilst getting past him. But to be honest, there was nothing really I could do. He was stuck on he parked it on the apex, and I couldn't go anywhere. And to be honest, there was nothing actually happened up until lap 11, when some of the guys started to make their pit stops. That's Jenson Button that's just come out of the pits there. So he's a full pit stop ahead of us after only 10 or 11 laps. I think we've completed 10 laps. We're on lap 11, so he was a full pit stop ahead of us after 10 laps. That shows the pace that McLaren had in the first part of the race compared to us. But look how slow he's going into that corner after the 1st sector. I think he's still trying to warm up his prime tyres. We're going to try and stick with the McLaren as we are going on a lot longer on our first stint, because we're on the prime tyres. We do make a little bit of a corner cut off the chicane, getting a wheel on the grass there, but we're right in the slipstream of the McLaren as we head down towards the right-hander. Can we make a cleaner move than we did on Rosberg? We do just about. I think we may have made a bit of contact, but we made the move as fair as I think we possibly could. We're now on to lap 12. I think Webber's just made his pit stop. We're now up into the podium positions just behind Hamilton and Alonso. But Alonso is 8 seconds up the road at the moment. And to my surprise, once again, we actually started to catch Alonso and Hamilton in front, even though we're on very worn prime tyres. We've done 13 laps on these, whereas these guys have only done 3 or 4 laps on them. But we're closing the gap. The gap was down to around 2 seconds. But by lap 18, the tyres started to go away a little bit, and I think it was time to make our pit stop for the options. We've understeered wide into the corner. Alonso has managed to pull out a bit of a gap. We've maintained our position ahead of Jenson Button though, so I think this prime tyre stint has done us very well. Hopefully we can possibly jump someone as we come into the pits for our only stop of the day to fit the option tyres. Let's hope that this pit stop is a reasonable amount of time.
Go now.
5.6 seconds, that's worse than last race. I don't understand why we held for so long there, and because of that we weren't able to jump anyone, and Webber's back in front of us. We're back down into 7th place, and Rosberg is not far behind us. We actually managed to pull a gap during the first stint, but then Rosberg's right with us just after this shambolic pit stop. But despite this, we're on a much faster tyre compared to the cars in front. We start to reel in Mark Webber as we set a 1:29.2. That's actually faster than the fastest lap that we managed to do it in qualifying, which just shows the pace that we've got right now. And look at this, on lap 22 we've caught up to the back of Mark Webber. Let's see if we can try and get a bit of revenge after being unable to pass him in the first race. Look how slow he's going through the first part of the chain. We go round the outside before the right-hander, and we're up into 6th place. It's a very good move by us. And before long, on lap 24, we're able to catch up to Felipe Massa as we come in towards the end of the first sector. We're coming through the right-hander. Massa's going really slowly out of the right-hander. He's held us up a little bit there, just parking it on the apex. We're then going to go right around the outside as we enter the 2nd sector, and we're up into 5th place. We're still on lap 24, and look at this. That's Vettel in front trying to get past a back marker. That's Lucas Di Grassi getting in his way. We're going to try for a dive bomb down around the outside of Vettel, but we've misjudged it completely. We've got into the gravel, and Di Grassi's hit us round. We've been spun around, and Massa's taking the position from us. We're down to 5th. We're trying to get back onto the track, but Webber's hit us, and he's out of the race. We're very fortunate for us to stay in the race with no damage whatsoever, so we're still going on. Webber, the championship leader though, is out, and we're now on to lap 25. We're about to lap Lucas Di Grassi once again. Thanks a lot for that incident there. He should have not hit us, but looking back on it, I don't think he could have done much, considering that's where the line of the corner is. We now cut to the end of lap 26. We've managed to catch Bassa back up after the incident, so I think 5th place is still on the cards. If we can get past the Ferrari, he's already going a bit defensively, come down the start finish straight to start lap number 27. He's taking the inside line going to turn 1. He's going to go very slowly around the apex though, make a bit of contact with the Ferrari. I think we've got the inside for the next corner. We're side by side as we head up towards turn 3. We're on the outside of it. Let's see if we can try and go round the outside, but we've misjudged the braking point though. We're into the grass slash gravel, and Mass has managed to repass us. But later on lap 27, look how much speed we've managed to carry through the left and right hand chicane, and we're right with Massa once again. Try and go around the outside into the right hand. Let's see if we can try and make this move stick this time. Yes, we do. We get a wheel on the grass there, but this time, unlike the Vettel move, we're able to pass Massa, and we're up into 5th place. And that was the end of the action for me in this race. Hamilton ends up winning his first race of the season. We're going to come home down the start finish straight for a decent, solid 5th place after starting outside the top 10.
Congratulations, 5th place!
So confirmation of the Australian Grand Prix results. Lewis Hamilton takes his first win of the season. Alonso in second, 3 seconds behind him. Jenson Button in third, making it 2 Brits in the top 3. Vettel in fourth, only 3.4 ahead of us, so we could have easily taken 4th place had we not had that incident with Di Grassi. Massa in 6th, Rosberg in 7th Mercedes, Kubica 8th, splitting the Mercedes, Michael Schumacher in 9th, and Kamui Kobayashi taking a point for BMW Sauber in 10th place. Let's have a look and see where everyone else finished. Adrian Sutil finished behind the HRT. That is very disappointing. But props to Bruno Senna for being able to finish ahead of a Force India, a Williams, and both Toro Rossos as well. And Mark Webber was the only retirement, the early championship leader, suffering a setback at his home race. So let's have a look and see what this results do to the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships. And as you can see, we've dropped to 3rd, but we have a new leader in Lewis Hamilton, who leads the championship by 3 points ahead of Alonso, who's a further 2 points ahead of us. We're ahead of Vettel, who's a point behind us. Webber's down to 5th after winning the opening race, with Button tied with him with points on 25, with Massa and Kubica rounding up the top 8. And if we look at the Constructors' Championship, Force India are currently in 4th place, 12 points behind Ferrari, and pretty much we're the best of the rest after the big 3 of McLaren, Red Bull and Ferrari. Hope you guys enjoyed today's Ultimate Career episode. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next race of the Ultimate Career taking place at the Sepang circuit in Malaysia. Until then, see you later.